Welcome back to Demolition Worker. Today we tackle the ultimate engineering challenge of lifting 40,000 tons of solid steel at sea. For decades, dismantling massive offshore oil rigs required dangerous manual labor, taking apart the enormous structures piece by piece over many months. Workers braved treacherous ocean conditions, risking their lives daily to cut through thick steel platforms suspended high above the freezing dark waters. Modern engineering has revolutionized this terrifying process, introducing a colossal solution that changes the entire landscape of deep-water industrial demolition. Enter the super heavy lift vessel, a monstrous mechanical marvel designed to carry the weight of an entire oil rig topside effortlessly. Instead of breaking it down, this giant ship lifts the whole superstructure in one single, incredibly powerful and highly coordinated mechanical motion. We are looking at 40,000 tons of heavy machinery, living quarters, and processing equipment resting on massive steel foundation pillar legs. The sheer scale of this offshore structure defies human imagination, standing taller than a conventional skyscraper right in the middle of nowhere. Target today is a decommissioned platform that has successfully pumped crude oil from beneath the ocean floor for over 30 years. Its useful life has finally ended, and environmental regulations strictly demand its complete removal to restore the natural marine habitat immediately now. To accomplish this impossible task, we bring in the biggest floating crane ship ever constructed by modern marine engineering experts today worldwide. Approaching the rig, the twin hulls of the mighty vessel look like a giant pair of steel jaws ready to swallow everything. Navigating such a colossal ship requires absolute precision, as even a minor miscalculation could result in a catastrophic collision with the platform. The captain carefully maneuvers the massive twin hulls, slowly sliding them perfectly around the thick supporting pillars of the old offshore structure. Dynamic positioning systems use advanced satellite technology to keep the ship perfectly stable against the unpredictable and violent ocean currents and winds. Once in position, the true magic of this engineering beast begins as hydraulic lifting arms slowly extend towards the rusty steel platform. These lifting beams are incredibly strong, specifically forged from high tensile steel to withstand the unimaginable pressure of 40,000 heavy tons. Before the main lift can happen, specialized teams of underwater welders must prepare the supporting legs for a clean and precise separation. They use ultra-hot thermal cutting torches to slice through the thick steel pipes, leaving only small structural connections holding it together. Every single cut must be mathematically perfect, ensuring that the entire platform remains completely stable until the exact moment of the lift. The massive hydraulic clamps finally make contact with the underside of the rig, locking onto the giant structure with an iron grip. Sensors transmit real-time data to the control room, verifying that the heavy weight distribution is perfectly balanced across all lifting points. Engineers monitor dozens of glowing computer screens, checking hydraulic pressure levels and structural stress indicators before initiating the final massive lifting sequence. A sudden loud alarm echoes across the ship deck, signaling that the critical lifting operation is about to begin right away now. The gigantic diesel engines roar to maximum power, generating enough electricity to supply a small city while powering the heavy hydraulic pumps. Millions of gallons of water are rapidly pumped out of the ship ballast tanks, creating an enormous upward buoyant force incredibly quickly. This rapid deballasting process is the secret behind the lifting power, using the natural buoyancy of the ocean to raise the platform. The enormous hydraulic arms engage simultaneously, pushing upward with terrifying force against the thick steel beams of the aging offshore oil facility. For a brief moment, nothing seems to happen as the immense weight of the massive structure violently resists the upward mechanical pull. Then, a deafening metallic groan echoes across the ocean waves as the massive steel legs finally snap their last remaining structural bonds. The massive 40,000-ton platform shudders violently before rising into the bright blue sky above the freezing dark ocean waters today. Water cascades down from the rising steel beams, creating spectacular temporary waterfalls that sparkle brilliantly in the warm afternoon sunlight right now. It is a truly breathtaking spectacle of human engineering, defeating gravity and conquering the heavy industrial burdens left behind in the ocean. The gap between the topside and the submerged foundation steadily increases, exposing thick layers of sharp marine growth attached to the pillars. Decades of thick, sharp barnacles and colorful ocean corals cling stubbornly to the rusty yellow metal, revealing an entire hidden marine ecosystem. The hydraulic lifting process takes several agonizing hours, ensuring absolute stability for the dangerously heavy cargo suspended high above the open deck. Any sudden violent movement or unexpected strong wind gust could disastrously throw off the delicate balance, risking a catastrophic structural collapse immediately. But the highly skilled crew remains perfectly calm, trusting their advanced computerized systems and years of intense rigorous training in marine operations. Finally, the massive topside clears the highest point of the remaining underwater foundation, completely detaching from the ocean floor forever right now. The enormous heavy transport ship is now fully carrying a weight equivalent to hundreds of fully loaded commercial passenger airplanes combined together. With the precious cargo securely locked in place, the twin hulls slowly begin to rotate, preparing for the long journey back home. The roaring diesel engines shift into forward gear, churning the dark ocean water into thick white foam as the heavy vessel accelerates. Transporting this gigantic steel island across the unpredictable open sea presents entirely new and terrifying logistical challenges for the brave sailing crew. The ship must constantly adjust its massive ballast tanks to compensate for the shifting weight caused by large, unpredictable ocean wave impacts. Below the surface, the remaining steel foundation jacket still stands alone, an empty artificial reef waiting for its own final demolition process. Another specialized vessel will eventually arrive to carefully slice that underwater structure apart, completing the total removal of the old oil facility. But for now, our focus remains firmly on the magnificent heavy lift ship carrying its colossal prize toward the distant coastal shipyard. The journey takes several agonizing days, moving slowly and cautiously to avoid any unnecessary structural stress on the aging rusty metal platform. Escort tugboats travel alongside the giant vessel, ready to provide emergency towing assistance if the primary diesel engines ever experience sudden failures. From high up in the sky, the convoy looks like a small mechanical island floating gracefully across the vast, endless blue ocean. As the shoreline finally appears on the distant horizon, the crew breathes a collective sigh of relief after days of high tension. The destination is a highly specialized dismantling yard, specifically designed to safely break down these massive offshore structures into small recyclable pieces. Entering the busy commercial port requires extreme caution, as the incredibly wide twin hulls take up almost the entire narrow shipping channel. Local harbor pilots board the massive ship, using their intimate knowledge of the shallow coastal waters to guide the heavy vessel safely. Hundreds of curious spectators gather along the sandy shoreline, holding up cameras to witness this unbelievable display of modern industrial lifting power. The sheer size of the floating oil rig completely dwarfs the nearby port buildings, making them look like tiny, fragile plastic toys. Slowly and deliberately, the mighty ship approaches the heavy-duty concrete unloading dock, where giant crawler cranes eagerly wait to start working. Thick, heavy mooring lines are quickly thrown onto the dock, securely tying the massive floating beast to the solid concrete harbor wall. Now comes the delicate process of transferring 40,000 tons of solid steel from the floating ship directly onto the dry land. Specialized sliding rails are carefully aligned between the ship deck and the concrete pier, creating a smooth, continuous path for the transfer. Powerful hydraulic pushers slowly inch the massive topside forward, grinding heavily against the steel rails with an incredibly loud and terrifying screech. The ship must constantly pump water back into its ballast tanks to prevent rising up as the heavy weight leaves its deck. Its critical balancing act requires perfect synchronization, ensuring the deck remains perfectly level with the dock throughout the entire slow sliding process. Inch by agonizing inch, the gigantic steel structure successfully crosses the narrow gap, finally resting securely on the solid ground of shore. The heavy lift vessel has successfully completed its seemingly impossible mission, delivering the massive cargo without a single dangerous accident or delay. An army of skilled demolition workers swarms the rusty platform, armed with powerful cutting torches and heavy-duty hydraulic metal shears. Breaking down the rig on dry land is significantly safer and infinitely more efficient than attempting this dangerous work out at sea. Giant excavator machines equipped with massive steel-crushing jaws begin tearing into the old living quarters, ripping apart thick metal walls easily. Showers of bright orange sparks illuminate the busy scrapyard as workers systematically slice the heavy steel support beams into small, manageable pieces. Nearly 98% of this enormous offshore facility will be carefully recycled, melted down to create completely new modern steel products. The valuable copper wiring, heavy industrial pumps, and massive electric generators are carefully extracted and sold to specialized industrial recycling market buyers. It is a highly profitable secondary industry that ensures these giant ocean-polluting structures do not end up rusting in shallow waters. Meanwhile, the magnificent heavy lift ship is already being refueled and carefully prepared for its next incredibly dangerous and highly demanding mission. There are thousands of aging oil platforms scattered across the global oceans, all waiting for their inevitable date with this mechanical monster. The rapid development of these super vessels has completely transformed the entire offshore decommissioning industry, making the impossible look surprisingly easy today. Engineers are constantly designing even larger and significantly more powerful ships, capable of lifting completely unimaginable weights in the very near future. As global energy demands slowly shift toward renewable sources, the crucial need for these massive demolition machines will only continue to grow. Removing these massive artificial steel islands restores the natural beauty of the ocean, allowing delicate marine life to thrive peacefully once again. We have witnessed a true marvel of modern science, a perfect combination of raw mechanical power and incredibly precise marine engineering technology. The sight of 40,000 tons of solid steel floating effortlessly above the ocean waves will forever remain etched in our memories. This incredible operation proves that human ingenuity knows no bounds when faced with seemingly insurmountable logistical challenges in harsh, deep-water environments. Every single bolt, pipe, and steel plate of that old rig will find a completely new purpose in our modern industrialized world. It is the ultimate form of heavy industrial recycling, transforming a massive ocean hazard into valuable raw materials for future construction projects. The brave men and women who design and operate these colossal machines deserve our utmost respect for their incredible dedication and bravery. They risk their lives daily to clean up the oceans, ensuring a much safer and cleaner marine environment for our future generations. The sun sets over the busy scrapyard. The glowing sparks of cutting torches look like thousands of tiny, bright yellow fireflies. The massive steel beast that once pumped oil from the deep ocean floor is now just a pile of valuable scrap metal. We hope you enjoyed this incredibly detailed look into the fascinating and terrifying world of extreme offshore demolition and heavy marine transport. If you love watching massive machines destroy gigantic industrial structures, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more epic engineering breakdowns. Thank you for watching Demolition Worker today, and we will see you next time for another incredible industrial demolition adventure right here.